Hello everyone!
Today I'm going to explain you an additional HL topic from my IB biology course called the kidney and osmoregulation. Let's start. So, what is the kidney? Kidney is an excretory organ of our body that removes wastes and extra fluid from the body. Basically, the kidney functions as a blood filtration and water balancing system. It removes metabolic waste for further excretion. How this happens? Blood enters the kidney via renal artery and then exits the kidney via renal vein. Blood is filtered by a specialized structure called nephrons, which produce urine. Normally, a human has two kidneys, and they contain, as I said before, renal artery. Renal artery transports oxygenated blood to the kidney cells, and also the blood from the renal artery contains more urea and salts than the blood from the renal vein, because the blood from the renal artery is then filtered. The renal vein transports the deoxygenated blood from the kidney. So then we have cortex, medulla, renal pelvis, and the ureter. The urine is transported from the kidneys via ureter, where it is stored by the bladder for further excretion. The cortex contains lots of glomeruli, which are parts of the nephrons, and as we can see, the bulk of the nephron is located in the medulla. This structure is called loop of Henle, and let's go to the structure of nephron. Each nephron consists of Bowman's capsule. This is the first part of the nephron where blood is initially filtered. Within the Bowman's capsule, the blood is filtered at a capillary tuft called glomerulus, and then blood is filtered out of the glomerulus at the Bowman's capsule to form filtrate. This process is called ultrafiltration. Then we have a structure called proximal convoluted tubule. It is a folded structure connected to Bowman's capsule where selective reabsorption occurs. Selective reabsorption, it is when usable materials are reabsorbed in convoluted tubules. Loop of Henle, it is a selectively permeable loop that descends into the medulla and establish a salt gradient, which then draws water out of the collecting duct. Then we have a distal convoluted tubule. In this tubule, reabsorption also happens because selective reabsorption occurs in both proximal and distal convoluted tubules. A blood network around the nephron is called vasa recta, and it reabsorbs components of the filtrate from the nephron. Filtrate is formed in Bowman's capsule. Each nephron connects to a collecting duct via distal convoluted tubule, which feed into the renal pelvis. The collecting ducts are shared by several nephrons. They are not technically considered to be part of a single nephron. In order to not get confused with the order of process, this diagram clearly shows what happens in which part of the nephron in the right order. After all these processes, water reabsorption happens, and it is directly related to the extent of hydration of your body. So, the hormone ADH, which stands for antidiuretic hormone, plays a key role in this process. So, ADH is released from the posterior pituitary gland in response to dehydration. Dehydration is detected by osmoreceptors in hypothalamus. ADH increases the permeability of collecting duct to water by upregulating production of aquaporins, which are the water channels. This means that less water remains in the filtrate, and the urine becomes more concentrated, and the individual, the body, urinates less. When your body is suitably hydrated, ADH levels decreases and less water is reabsorbed. So your urine is less concentrated and it is more dilute. Easy way to remember when ADH is produced. ADH is produced when you are dehydrated. Okay, that's all for osmoregulation and water reabsorption. Next, we need to cover ways of treating kidney diseases, namely the kidney failure. One of the ways is hemodialysis. Kidney dialysis involves the external filtering of blood in order to remove metabolic waste in patients with kidney failure. Blood is removed and pumped through the dialyzer, which has two key functions that are common in biological membranes. It contains a porous membrane that is semi-permeable, and it introduces fresh dialysis fluid and removes waste to maintain an appropriate concentration gradient. Kidney dialysis treatment typically lasts about 4 hours and occurs 3 times a week. These treatments can be effective for years. But the best long-term treatment for kidney failure is a kidney transplant. That transplanted kidney is grafted into abdomen with arteries, veins, and ureter connected to recipient's vessels. Donors must typically be close genetically to get a close genetic match in order to minimize the potential for graft rejection. Donors can survive with one kidney and so may commonly donate a second to the relative suffering with kidney failure. And that's all. Thank you. If you have any question, you can email me. This is my email. That's all.